to the Rogers Center here in Toronto for Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. Julio Rodriguez digs in to face the veteran right-hander Shane Bieber, 4-2 during the regular season, coming off of Tommy John surgery. Tonight's first pitch brought to you by Michael's Toyota of Bellevue. Julio ready. Here's the windup. First pitch of the game on the way, and it's a fastball that's outside for ball one, and we are underway. Welcome to Mariners baseball. And if you're not pumped up for this one, I don't know what it would take. Here's the windup, the 1-0 pitch of the way, swinging hard, a ground ball, past the bag at third, down the left field line for an extra base hit, all the way into the corner. Julio digging for second. He's in, standing up with a leadoff double. The throw in by the left fielder, Nathan Lucas, and Julio Rodriguez greets Shane Bieber into the ballgame with a ringing double down the left field line.
Now, what did Julio say today before the game about facing Bieber? Find your pitch. Hanging slider almost middle of the strike zone that he pulls fair for a double.
That was a screaming ground ball right past the bag, the inner part of the bag at third. And here's Cal Raleigh. Mariners would love to jump all over Bieber here in the top half of the first inning, which they did in his last start, but then he settled down. Here's the stretch of the pitch on the way to Cal, and it's going to be outside for ball one. After Julio hit that two-run home run in the first inning, there was another walk that Bieber gave up, but then he retired 17 of the next 19. The Mariners want to keep the pressure on Bieber. Former Cy Young Award winner back in 2020 with Cleveland. Now the stretch by Bieber, the pitch on the way to Cal. Big swing and a miss, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck for the Mariners, batting third tonight is first baseman Josh Naylor. A little bit different look for Dan Wilson's ball club. Blue Jays in their home whites. Mariners back to their dark navy jerseys. Throw back to first base, and Julio diving back safely to the bag. The throw by Bieber was high to the shortstop, Andres Jimenez, but he was able to pull it down. 1-1 the count on Cal Raleigh. Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. The Dodgers have had already a few days off, sweeping aside the Brewers in 4 games. Here's the stretch of the pitch on the way to Cal. Swinging a chopper along the first base line. Fair ball right at the bag, but it goes foul. It kicks right. Guerrero gets to it in front of the bag, but foul, and the count is now 1-2 on Cal. Julio back to second base. Cal Raleigh with a bunch of home runs in his career against Toronto, about 14 home runs and 9 or 10 here at Rogers Center. He's got the highest slugging percentage of anybody here at this ballpark. Along with a Freddie Freeman, a Yordan Alvarez, and a few other guys, but Cal Raleigh is at the top of the list. Also at the top of the list in home runs this year with 60. He'd love to drive home Julio right away here in the top of the first inning. 1 on, nobody out. Pitch on the way to Cal, and it's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. What a season for Cal. Most home runs in the history of the Mariners, surpassing Ken Griffey Jr., the most home runs in Major League history by a catcher, 60, surpassing Salvador Perez, most home runs by a switch hitter in Major League history with 60, surpassing Mickey Mantle. An historic year for the big dumper. Cal Raleigh steps back in. And the count is even on Cal at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bieber ready, fires away, and it's low and inside for ball 3. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Coaching down at third base, hope he's busy. Chris DeGrone, and over at first base, telling everybody to turn left, is Eric Young Jr. Julio, great speed on at second base. Infield turnaround to the right side. Bieber, a check of Julio. The pitch on the way to Cal. Swinging a well-hit ball, but he yanks it foul down the right field line. In and out of the seats. Ricochets all the way deep into the corner. A shot off the bat of Cal, and the count is still 3 balls and 2 strikes. And guys, the key, get to Bieber early.
Well, Cal did a great job the pitch before, laying off a slider in the dirt. Last time the Mariners saw Bieber, he was about 60% non-fastball, and the slider, not a surprise, was the great swing and miss pitch. That is definitely a put-away offering from Bieber.
No doubt about it. He settled in after the second inning. Here's the look in by Bieber. Julio lead, pitch of the way to Cal. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3. And one away for the Mariners here in the top of the first inning. You can hear the crowd down below and all around Rogers Center. And that'll bring up a young man who grew up here in the Toronto area in Mississauga, Ontario, Josh Naylor. So here's Naylor up in the number 3 spot in the order. 2 for 4 last night with a home run. And he's batting .429 in the ALCS with 3 home runs and 4 runs batted in. The pitch on the way to Josh, and it's going to be up and in for ball 1. Naylor, during the regular season at .295, 20 home runs and 95 runs batted in. Bieber, again, a check on Julio. The stretch and now a turnaround and look, but no throw as Bieber looks Julio back to the bag at second base. Man, you've got to cash in pretty much with every opportunity. The Blue Jays have been scoring runs like crazy, especially in their division series win over the Yankees. Now the stretch and the pitch to Naylor, swinging a ground ball foul right in front of the Mariners' first base dugout. And the count is even on Naylor at 1 ball and 1 strike. It will be interesting to see how this game unfolds and how the 2 managers, Dan Wilson for the Mariners, John Schneider for the Blue Jays, go to their bullpens. Because as we mentioned on the pregame show, everybody's available here in Game 7 to work if they need them. And now time is called. Naylor gets time right away. By the way, the home plate umpire, Quinn Wolcott, calling balls and strikes. Doug Eddings at first, Ben May at second, Alfonso Marquez at third. The line umpires, Marvin Hudson in left, DJ Rayburn down the right field line. 6 umpires for the postseason. Julio waiting to take off at second base, looking for a clutch base hit from Naylor. Here's the stretch and the 1-1 on the way, and it's going to be outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. On deck for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Going back to games 1 and 2 of the ALCS, the Mariners won those 2 games here in Toronto to start things off. And now here we are at Game 7. The pitch on the way to Naylor. And it's high for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. So Josh Naylor in the driver's seat looking for his pitch. Naylor, in last night's game, a home run to right field. Now the look in by Bieber. Here we go. The right-handers. 3-1 on the way to Josh. Swinging a ground ball wide at first. Diving. Guerrero can't get to it. A base hit into right field. Julio being waved in. The throw to the plate up the line. Julio scores. Standing up. Josh Naylor with a base hit into right field. And the Mariners have the early 1-0 lead here in the first inning. Naylor drives in the first run of the game. And the Mariners put a spot on the scoreboard right away, and they're looking for more against Shane Bieber.
That's 2 hanging breaking balls from Bieber and 2 base hits. The double from Julio, and this time a hanging curve. Naylor the base hit, and moving him up has paid dividends right away.
And now here's Jorge Polanco, the DH tonight. Pitch on the way, a check, swing, a strike, and the count 0-1.
They haven't missed him either. Julio's was 107 off the bat, and Naylor 100, so scorched, both of them.
Both hits hit mighty hard off of Bieber, which is a great sign early in the ballgame, and now Polanco trying to do the same. Guerrero playing at the bag. The stretch by Bieber. He delivers, and it's low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And, man, that's a great sight to see, a hard-hit ground ball that got through, because in last night's game, the Mariners bounced into 3 consecutive double plays to end the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. And that one hit so hard that Guerrero could not knock it down. Here's the pitch on the way. Polanco takes. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike on Jorge. Mariners lead 1-0 right away. 3 batters into the ball game. What an addition Josh Naylor has been ever since he showed up. Coming over from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Near the trade deadline, Jerry Dipoto, Justin Hollander, Andy McKay making that deal for Naylor and for Eugenio Suarez. The look in by Bieber. And the veteran right-handers, 2-1 pitch to Polanco. Strike called, and the count is even at 2-2. You got to keep the pressure on Bieber. Bieber in his 1 start against the Mariners. That was Game 5. He won that's Game 3. He won 13-4. He went 6 innings and gave up just the 2 runs on the home run by Julio this stretch. And the 2-2 on the way to Polanco. And here she comes. It's low and inside for ball 3. Full count 3-2.
That's the 3rd straight 3-ball count from Bieber. The Mariners have really done a nice job laying off the stuff in the dirt so far.
Julio Rodriguez jumping on Bieber right away for the extra base hit. You're right. 3-2 on Cal. 3-1 on Naylor. Now 3-2 on Polanco. The look in by Bieber. Naylor a lead at first base, bouncing around, and draws a throw and dives back to the bag safely. And the Blue Jays very well know the success rate of Josh Naylor stealing bases this year. He's been outstanding. 30 steals on the season. Gets a lead at first. Now the stretch, and the 3-2 to Polanco, swinging a ground ball to the left side of the infield, taken by the third baseman. Clement steps on second to throw to first, and it hits Naylor. Holy smokes, what a break for the Mariners. Naylor is out at second. The throw by Clement hits Josh. It bounces high in the air, and now here comes John Schneider out of the dugout as Clement, the third baseman, way to his left, got to it. Naylor turned his back, and it hit him right in the neck.
He jumped. Naylor jumped. He took it. He took that one for the team.
That's unbelievable. Naylor turning around to take it in the back, and that is on Clement. He's got to clear that throw, and the Mariners get a huge break right now. He didn't get him. He was in line. He has the right to get to second base.
Well, the jump is the question here, right? And the umpires are huddling right now between the mound and second base. Can you jump and intentionally interfere with the throw? As that he wore that on the back of the helmet. What a gamer.
We've seen guys do that a number of times. It's the job of the middle infielder, in this case, Clement, the third baseman, who was playing way off the line, to get that throw over Naylor. I don't think he did anything wrong.
This is a long conversation.
He's in his right.
The umpire's talking it over.
I've never seen a base runner jump.
I haven't either.
To get in the way of a throw before.
I've seen the hands go up and everything.
I mean, he broke up what was a sure double play.
No doubt about it, because Clement, the third baseman, got it in front of the shortstop, Jimenez, and then the throw.
He just jumped and spun around, turned his back, and took it right at the back of the helmet.
His level of intelligence is off the charts. He does anything you can possibly do to try to win a ball game. Now, Clement is not a middle infielder, at least not tonight. He's a third baseman. He dropped down to make that throw. He had an easy double play. He could have cleared and created a throwing lane, but he didn't. And he hit Naylor. That's unbelievable. Dan Wilson is going out. He's got an argument right here.
They've ruled him out.
Out is called. They're going to call a double play to end the inning, but I don't believe this. I think as a runner, you let's. lead. And we got to look further into this. George Springer will lead off the bottom of the first inning. George Kirby on the mound for the Mariners in the biggest game of his life. So here's Springer with a sore right knee. He was hobbling all during the game last night. Pitch on the way to Springer, and it's up and in, and that's a great pitch right there. George Springer backing away from that first pitch. George Kirby was tattooed in his last start against these Blue Jays. Lasted only 4+ innings, gave up 8 runs on 8 hits as the Blue Jays hit rockets all over the place. He's got to make these guys uncomfortable. Next off on the way, that's up and in for ball 2. And that's a good pitch. So he falls behind Springer at 2 balls and no strikes, and I think the Blue Jays are getting the message, and that one just missed the elbow of Springer. But this is what we wanted to see from George Kirby. Here's the windup and the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a foul back, and the count is now 2-1. George Kirby sent a message to the Blue Jays saying, you guys are not going to tee off against me tonight like you did last Wednesday. That was in Seattle when the Blue Jays won 13-4. The look in by Kirby, the windup and the 2-1 to Springer. Swinging a foul out of play in the first base side, and a good fastball at 98 miles an hour. And the count is still even, or now even on Springer, at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 Mariners lead. We'll set up the Mariners defense for you. Robles back out there in right field. The windup in the 2-2 pitch, and it's low and outside for ball 3. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hopefully we'll get some more clarification on that strange call, the controversial call that ended the top of the first inning when Naylor was hit in the back with a throw by Clement. The windup by Kirby and the 3-2 on the way to Springer, and it's outside for ball 4, and he walked him. So the leadoff walk to Springer as Kirby was trying to get Springer to chase. And he's out at first base. That'll bring up left fielder Nathan Lucas. Say, friends, when considering a Volvo, people should come to Sandberg Volvo Cars in Linwood to experience the Sandberg difference. The only Excellence Award winner and family-owned and operated Volvo dealership in the Northwest. Come in as a friend, leave as a member of the family. See great reviews at SandbergVolvoCars.com. Here's the pitch to Lucas, and that's outside for ball 1. His first inning so important for George Kirby. Mariners have all hands on deck, even starters if Dan Wilson and Pete Woodworth need them in this game. No tomorrow. The winner goes on to the World Series. 1 on, nobody out. Springer a lead. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way to Lucas. Strike called. Fastball at 99 at the top of the zone, and the count is even on Lucas at 1 ball and 1 strike. Lucas having a great series, batting .357 for 20. These guys hit line drives all over the place. You got Vlad Jr. on deck. Here's the stretch. And now the 1-1 on the way to Lucas. Swing and a fly ball. Shallow left field down the line. Long run. Randy Rosarani. He's there and will make the catch in fair territory. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Springer back to first base. So a big first out for George Kirby, and every out is going to be a big out for George Kirby. And here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Guerrero having a tremendous postseason. He's batting .409 in the League Championship Series with 3 home runs, 3 solo blasts, and he's batting .462 in the postseason. A big series as well against the Yankees, 3 home runs against New York. Pitch on the way to Guerrero. Strike called. Fastball top of the zone at 99 miles an hour, so Kirby is pumped up. Good velocity. Good location right there, up and in. 0-1 the count on Guerrero, who hit .292 during the season, 23 home runs. Here's the stretch by George, and the 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. Fastball this time pretty much hard of the plate, and the count is 0-2 on Guerrero. And now let's see what Cal wants Kirby to throw and where he's going to put it. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Mariners, Game 7. The stretch and the Kirby 0-2 pitch to Guerrero. Swinging a ground ball hit hard through the left side for a base hit. Down to second goes Springer. A shot by Guerrero. His hot hitting continues. Up with the ball as Randy gets the throw in. And that's not where you want to throw an 0-2 pitch. You want him to chase. And Guerrero got a pitch he could hit hard through the left side of the infield.
It's actually pretty fortunate. It was just a single. That was right down the middle, and certainly not where you want to know, too.
So now the Blue Jays have the tying run on at second, the go-ahead run on at first. And that'll bring up catcher Alejandro Kirk. He likes to swing at a first pitch. Cal Raleigh out in front of the plate, going through some defensive signs, and now Cal turns around and heads on back behind home plate. The Mariners have Randy out in left field, Julio in center, Robles back in right field, Suarez, Crawford, Rivas, Naylor, the infield third at first, the battery of Kirby, and Cal Raleigh. Here we go. Blue Jays threatening right away. Bottom of the first inning. The stretch by Kirby. Here's the pitch on the way. Kirk takes low and outside in the dirt. The ball pops away from Cal. Rolls up the first base line, but holding it second is Springer. And it's 1-0 on Kirk. The Toronto Blue Jays winning the American League East. They actually tied the Yankees at 94 and 68 in the standings, but they had the tiebreaker. And now time is called. Cal out to the mound. Have a talk with George. So he's going out there to settle him down. Over there also as well, Naylor.
Some further clarification, I think, Rick. Going back to Naylor, who I think we can all agree intentionally jumped to interfere with the throw, right? That's clear as day. From what I can tell, per the rule book, to break up a double play, the ball is dead. The umpire shall call the batter runner out for intentional interference and shall call out the runner who had advanced closest to home plate, regardless of where the double play might have been possible.
Naylor trying to break up the double play, which he did by jumping up, turning his back, getting ready for the shot. Well, here we go. 1-0 the count on Kirk. Runners at first and second, one out. The stretch by George, and the 1-0 pitch to Kirk. Good breaking ball, but it's a low. My goodness, a little bit low, according to the home plate umpire, Quinn Wolcott. Looked like it got the lower edge of the strike zone, and the count is 2-0 on Kirk. Runners again get their leads. Julio a little bit toward right center. Here's the stretch by Kirby, and now the 2-0 pitch to Kirk. Strike called. That's a fastball at the knees at 98 miles an hour. No problem with the velocity. And the count is now 2-1. When George is at his best, he's right around the edges. Down at the knees, on the inside corner, the outside corner. The look in by Kirby. Runners their leads. And now the right-handers, 2-1 to Kirk. It's going to be up and in for ball three. That fastball missed high and inside. And the count is now 3-1 on Kirk, with Dalton Varsho due up next. Big pitch right here for George. Got to come in with a strike. Kirk knows it. Runners their leads. The stretch and the 3-1 pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. Came back with another fastball. Kirk started out of the batter's box. Wanted to get ball four. He's got to come back, and the count is now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That fastball came back right over the outside corner of a pitch right there by George. Springer on at second. Guerrero at first base. George looking for a ground ball double play. The pitch on the way to Kirk. Here she comes. Swinging a pop-up. Foul on the first base side. Naylor over to take a look, but it's going to get beyond the netting and into the seats down the first base side. And the count is still 3-2 on Kirk. And the Blue Jays have made Kirby work here in the bottom of the first inning. And the Mariners did that to Shane Bieber in the top of the first inning.
This is a night where pitch count doesn't matter at all. It's just all about putting a 0 on the board.
And that's what George is trying to do. Needs a ground ball right at somebody. Infield double play depth up the middle. Now the stretch, and again the 3-2 on the way to Kirk. Swinging a foul back, and he had a mighty rip, and the count is still 3-2, and George staying with the heater. 98 miles an hour, so he's right there at 98 consistently in the early part of the ball game. Gets a new baseball from Quinn Wolcott, the plate umpire. A walk and a single in between and out. Here's the stretch. And again, the 3-2 on the way to Kirk, and here she comes. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Kirby strikes out Kirk. A long battle with a fastball at 98 miles an hour. Strikeout number 1 for Kirby, and that's out number 2 for the Blue Jays. George wins that battle, and a battle it was.
A gutsy pitch. That was 6 straight fastballs to Kirk in what turned out to be an 8-pitch at-bat. Throws it up and in. Kirk, a good high fastball hitter, but couldn't get to that one.
Got it by Kirk, and now here's Dalton Varsho, the center fielder. Look for him to jump on a first pitch fastball after that long at bat. Gino close at third base. Kirby look back at Springer. Here's the stretch and the pitch. On the way to Varsho, swing and a miss. He chops at a pitch down and in. There's a good slider. And Varsho swings right over the top of it, and the count is 0-1. So that took away Varsho looking for that first pitch fastball. He didn't get it. 2 on, 2 away. 1-0 Mariners. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Diving is Rivas. Can't get to it. A base hit. Springer rounding third. He'll score. Game tied at 1. Around to third goes Guerrero. Varsho with a single and a run batted in. And the Blue Jays have tied it up right away at 1-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Well, George got the ground ball, but it was up the middle. Leo tried to dive to his right and at least knock it down, could not get to it. The walk comes around to score. And now the Blue Jays have the go-ahead run on at third base.
The pitch was well out of the zone, below the zone. We've seen the Blue Jays do that a lot in this series.
But it was over the plate. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So Varsho with a base hit and a run batted in. And here's a real thorn in the side in this series. Ernie Clement puts the ball all over the place, uses foul line to foul line. The stretch and the pitch on the way to Clement. Swing and a miss. Had a good fastball from George at 98, and the count is 0-1 on Clement. He was 2 for 3 last night, batting .333, 8 for 24 in the series. Kirby looking for the final out here in the bottom of the first inning. Get his offense back to work. Next off of the way, swinging a ground ball, foul on the third base side. Softly hit by Clement. Out in front of a pitch by Kirby. And George out in front of the count now on Clement, and no balls and 2 strikes. A run in with a couple of base hits for the Blue Jays. Folks, fasten your seatbelts. We're in store for a dandy tonight here in Toronto. Game 7. Winner to the World Series. Here's the pitch. Runner first takes off. Swinging a fly ball. Center field. Julio going back. He's there and makes the catch, and that will retire the side as Varsho took off. But that will end the inning. Blue Jays get 1 run on a couple of base hits. They leave the go-ahead run stranded at third. What a start to Game 7. We go to the top of the second here in Toronto. Mechanics Bank score.
Great moment.
Mariners won the previous game in Seattle by that same margin, 6-2. Here's the pitch on the way, low and outside to Randy. Ball 1 ball and 1 strike. On the historic night by Eugenio Suarez, who hit a home run in the second and a game-winning grand slam in the eighth. Windup and the pitch. Misses inside for ball 2. 2-1 the count on Randy. Randy looking for his first career hit against Bieber, 0 for 10. The windup and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul back off the screen. And the count is even on Randy at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Randy had a couple of base hits last night. That's what the Mariners need. The Mariners need some offense up and down through this order, 1 through 9. That's what you got to do against Bieber. Here's the windup and the 2-2 on the way to Randy. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Diving is Jimenez, and he can't get to it. A base hit in left center field. Randy with the wide turn at first. Heads on back, and he's on at first with a leadoff single. Well, so far the ground balls are sneaking through, where that wasn't the case last night. As we mentioned, the Blue Jays turning 3 double plays. And here's Eugenio Suarez. Some boos for Gino after what he did to the Blue Jays back home in Game 5, winning Game 5 with the 2 home runs, including the grand salami. So here's Gino. The stretch by Bieber. And the pitch to Suarez, and it's up high for ball 1. Bieber has thrown 25 pitches to start things off, and the Blue Jays really made George Kirby work in the bottom of the first as he threw 25 pitches. Now the stretch and the 1-0 on the way to Gino. Swing and a line drive into center field for a base hit. Fill up this ballpark with base hits. And down to second goes Randy Arozarena. Gino with a single. And the Mariners come right back against Shane Bieber here in the top half of the second.
Now, so far, they are not letting Bieber get away with mistakes. Another hanging slider, middle, just put on a platter. And Bieber should be fortunate that turned out to be nothing more than a single.
So the Mariners with back-to-back base hits for Randy Arozarena and Eugenio Suarez. Here's J.P. Crawford. He is 7 for 14 against Bieber. He's hit him very well. Close to third base, Clement. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way. And a bunt attempt on the third base side. Picked up by the pitcher, Bieber. He's got it. Throws the first in time to get JP. The sacrifice bunt will get 2 runners into scoring position. Good job by J.P. Crawford. Randy will get to third. Gino in at second base. And now the Mariners have 2 on in scoring position with 1 away. Nice bunt by J.P. Crawford. And here's Leo Rivas. A base hit here gives you 2. Leo in last night's game 1 for 3 as he pounded a pitch off the wall in right field his first time up. Almost got out of here to right. Here's the stretch and the pitch to Leo. Check swing, a strike. And the count is 0-1. So the Mariners keeping the pressure on Bieber. Bieber, 30 years of age. Coming back from the Tommy John surgery. Hasn't pitched that much the last few years. 7 games for the Blue Jays this year. After working down to the minors, here's the next offer. Swing and a foul back by Leo, and the count is now 0-2. He made his Toronto debut on August the 22nd. That was a 5-1 win over the Miami Marlins. He went 6 innings. Coming off the 60-day IL. Had some great seasons in Cleveland, including the Cy Young Award back in 2020 in that shortened COVID year. And now time is called as Leo steps away from home plate. He was also the Triple Crown winner for a pitcher. He led the league in wins with 8, the best ERA and the most strikeouts in 2020. Randy a lead at third. Eugenio on at second. Here's the stretch and the 0-2 to Leo. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And the Mariners have 2 down here in the top half of the second. That'll leave it up to Victor Robles. So for Shane Bieber, his second strikeout. 2 on and 2 away. And here's Victor. He's been out of the lineup the last 3 games. And he is looking for a clutch base hit right here. Mariners trying to take advantage of every opportunity they can. And this is a huge opportunity right here. Game tied 1-1. Robles, right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch on the way to Vic. Swinging a bouncy ball right back to the mound. A one-hopper taken by Bieber. The throw to first, and it's in time to get Robles. And that's going to retire the side. The Mariners cannot cash in. No runs, 2 hits, 2 stranded in scoring position. We go to the...
Let's
It's always a popular choice. George Kirby ready, the windup and the pitch, the Barger, and it's going to be down low for ball 1. I said, I'll get you an Ichiro autograph. He said, Rick, I've already got one. I said, really? When he was 9 years old, his family went to Peoria, Arizona for spring training. Met up with Ichiro. Here's the pitch on the way. A strike on Barger, and the count is even. A 1-1 strike. And he said, when I was just a kid, Ichiro signed a ball for me. Still has it, of course. So he's got a nice memento from his favorite Mariner, Ichiro Suzuki. Here's the windup and the pitch. The Barger swinging a ground ball up the first base line and just foul. Barger ripped it foul. This kid can flat out hit. And what a story for Barger. Starts the year as the starting shortstop at AAA Buffalo. Bo Bichette was at short. He is on the IL and won't be able to play in the postseason. And Barger comes up, plays a little at third. And they got him out in right field. He's got a tremendous arm. And he ended up hitting 243 during the regular season with 21 home runs. Third on the ball club and 74 runs batted in despite starting the year down in the minors. Here's the windup and the 1-2 on the way to Barger. It's going to be a little low and outside for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I said, how did you get that arm? He said, my dad, as a kid, had me play a lot of long toss. He said, I was playing on the big field at the age of 8. Here's the windup next off from the way, swinging a ground ball, 2-hopper right to JP at short, near the bag, fires the first low, but it's picked in time by Naylor, in time to get Barger for the out, and there's one away. And And JP knows about the speed of Barger hustling up that line, and there's one down. But he said he would play long toss at the age of 8 and throughout Little League, and he came up with, well, right now, one of the best arms in the American League. Here's second baseman Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. The look in by Kirby. Needs a quick inning. Pitch on the way, and it's ball 1. He also told me he's getting ready to be a dad for the third time. He's 25 years of age. He's got a 4-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and his wife is due any second. I said, what are you doing here? You need to go home. Here's the pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball, making a line drive, and it's caught by Naylor way off the line at first. Looked like it was going to sneak onto the dirt portion of the infield, but Naylor was able to reach out and go get it. He makes the catch, and there's 2 outs in the inning. Turns out to be a line drive. The ball caught by Naylor, and there's 2 outs for the Blue Jays here in the bottom half of the second. And Addison said his wife has it covered. Here's Andres Jimenez swinging ground ball to the left side of the infield. Way to his right, JP to backhand it. Off balance throw to first, and it pulls Naylor off the bag. And safe at first base is Jimenez with an infield base hit.
You got the ground ball you wanted, but not to the right spot. Just a little bit wide of JP, who was closer to the bag at second, and now there's a man on for the top of the order.
And that'll bring up George Springer. And once again, Josh Naylor with a nice pick over there at first base. Had to go reach and get that ball. So 1 on, 2 outs. 1-1 tie. And here's Springer, who walked and scored the Blue Jays run in the bottom of the first inning. The stretch by Kirby, pitch on the way to Springer, and it's going to be up and in for ball 1. On deck, left fielder Nathan Lucas. Outfield almost straight away. Julio a little bit toward right center field, a few steps. Jimenez will lead at first. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's up and in again on Springer for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. This is what George did when Springer led off the first inning. Pitched them inside, then went away, and Springer was able to take some tough pitches, didn't chase, ended up walking. Second baseman Rivas way to his right toward the bag. Here's the stretch and the pitch to Springer. Swinging a ground ball to third. Second hop taken by Gino. Toss across in time to get Springer, and that's going to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on. We go to the top of the third. Game 7 here in Toronto of the ALCS. Mechanics Bank score.
Great moments.
Bieber into the wind. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, chopped away. That was a fastball on the inner corner at 93. Mariners done a much better job this time around against Bieber. Not chasing out of the zone. Julio hobbling a bit after he fouled that ball off his leg. Trying to stretch it out as he has a word with the home plate umpire, a smile on his face. Ooh. It looked like it got him just above the guard, of course.
Right
on
below
his shin.
Yeah, right below his left knee.
Dan Wilson out.
Yeah.
That guard goes pretty high up his shin, but that ball is just a couple inches further up above that. Looks like Julio just needs a minute. Dan with some very encouraging words, no doubt. Like,
put some dirt on it.
You're going to stay in this game.
You're not going anywhere.
Julio, you really have no choice.
Yeah, but I will stand here and allow you to rest for about 20 more seconds.
I don't care if you have a big boo-boo.
And then go ahead.
You're staying in there.
So here we go. Julio back in the box. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Good pitch on the inside corner. A changeup. So no balls, 2 strikes on Julio. Bieber, a couple of strikeouts so far. 1-1 the score, 3rd inning. Winner goes to the World Series. Bieber into the motion, he deals. A half cut, did he go around? He did not. Julio checked his swing, a slider off the plate. And that's the pitch that was so effective the first time around against the Mariners. This time Julio lays off barely.
I think that was the right call, but it was close.
The 1-2 to Julio. Here it is. Down low. Tried again with the slider. This time Julio did not offer. So count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3rd inning. Tied score. Mariners Blue Jays. The veteran Bieber into the motion. Here comes his pitch. Swung on a chopper, 3rd base, on the line. It's gloved by Clement, fires across, but it's a foul ball. Mariners will take that because Julio would have been out. So Julio, new life here as he slowly strolls back.
Yeah, that left leg is still a problem. He's still sore, taking his time.
That pitch was down the middle.
I think in a situation like this, too, when you're a guy like Julio and you know you have a chance to beat everything out, and so you run so hard, I think you take as ginger of a stroll as you can back to the box and kind of lower that heartbeat a little bit. That coupled with fouling a ball off your shin.
For sure, knowing that you could be doing it right now again.
That's right.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Into the wind, here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped, this time foul. Good battle here by Julio. He stays alive. That was a perfect pitch, bottom corner, a curveball that he fights off. Good job by Julio. Mariners have had the leadoff man aboard in the first 2 innings. Bieber winds, deals. Swung on, that is crushed. Left center field. This has got a chance. It is going to go. Julio! Solo home run, and the Mariners have the lead. A Game 7 blast by Julio. It is 2-1 Mariners in the 3rd. You gotta love that. Julio gives the Mariners the lead with an emphatic Game 7 home run.
And he does this on a sore left leg. It was really bothering him, but he gets this pitch up, and he hit it way out, 423 feet from home plate. What a shot by Julio. 2nd home run against Bieber in his 2nd time he's faced him.
And here comes Cal. Here comes the pitch. Swung on a chopper to the first base side, picked up by Guerrero on a couple hops. Underhand toss to Bieber, covering. Stomps on the bag, that's the out. So there's 1 away.
Well, there's no doubt. Bieber has not been as sharp so far tonight as he was back earlier in this series in Game 3. Although that was a slider that was a touch off the plate, it was left up, and that's what allowed Julio to get to it.
Here's Naylor. The boos increasing on Naylor as this series goes for some reason. Having an excellent series. Picked up an RBI base hit last time. Here comes the pitch. Swung on. That is blasted right field. Barger racing over. He's right there to make the catch. He hit it hard. The Mariners hitting the ball hard tonight. But Barger right there to make the play. That was 100 off the bat. That brings up Polanco. 2-1 Mariners, third inning. No action out of the Blue Jays pen yet. You know, this is a night that both teams will be very aggressive. Here comes the pitch to Polanco. And that's down low. Polanco hit into a double play. The controversy. One in. Crowd gets behind Bieber. A longtime guardian. Into the motion, he deals. Too high. Another changeup. Full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped foul. That's hopping into the Mariners dugout. So we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Polanco taps the plate a couple of times, gripping the bat, white batting gloves. Mariners wearing their navy tops tonight. Great pants. Bieber chomping on some bubble gum. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, line drive up the middle. It's through, a base hit. Jorge Polanco strikes. The Mariners now their 6th hit of the night already. So a 2-out single, and that brings up Randy Arozarena.
Man, is this great to see. The Mariners not allowing Bieber to settle in like he did his last start against the Mariners in Seattle. Keeping the pressure on him.
So Arozarena, who singled last time, a career-high 27 home runs in the regular season. Here's the pitch to Randy. Swung on and missed. Well, that's what he was thinking right there. It was a fastball, upper rung. So he pitched number 50 for Bieber. No movement in the Blue Jays pen yet. Polanco steps off his lead. The 0-1. Too high. In fact, that was almost over Kirk. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Randy, gold batting gloves matching his gold shoes. Bieber turns around, looks at Polanco. Small lead at first. Here's the pitch. That's in there. You had Randy buckling. That was a good slider, top of the zone. So Randy in a tough spot, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That home run to Julio. Moment of the game brought to you by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors. Here comes the 1-2 to Randy. That's away. Did not chase the slider. Count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mariners on top, 2-1, 3rd inning. Bieber from the stretch. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. He went waving at that one. Slider in the dirt. That's it for Arozarena and the Mariners. But Julio, a big home run for the Mariners here in the 3rd. It's 2-1. We go to the bottom of the 3rd on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network. .98 on most fastballs. That one 96. George nods his head, goes into the motion, deals. That's at his feet, 97. Dances out of the way, so he's fallen behind. 2 balls, no strikes. You clearly do not want to face Vlad with anybody aboard. Guerrero has just been a monster in the postseason. Kirby into the motion, his pitch. That's a strike. Watches it all the way in at 97. Top of the zone. Kirby, Navy half sleeves under his Navy uniform top. Into the wind. His pitch. Swung on and missed. Challenged him. Good fastball in 97. Right by him. So the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's looking for a punch out right here. Kirby into the motion. His pitch. Swung on, fouled away. Tried a slider, caught a lot of the plate. Lucas, left-handed hitter, has been such a big key to the balance of the Blue Jays lineup. Kirby's 2-2. Swung on, fouled back to the netting. He went upper rail 97. Good pitch. It was up out of the zone.
So many fastballs up to Lucas, with very few exception to that. Even the slider was up.
Mariners leading 2-1. 3rd inning. He winds, deals. Swung on and missed. Got him. A great slider. Lucas swings through, and George Kirby has his second punch out and a big out number 1 here in the 3rd. And that brings up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Kirby had him 0-2 last time and just left one over the plate that was hit hard for a single.
I was really surprised he threw him 3 straight fastballs and didn't try to get him to chase off the plate with 2 strikes.
Here comes his first pitch. Swung on, lifted, short right field, long run, Robles coming in. Rivas is out. Rivas is there to make the catch. 2 away.
A good executed pitch there. Fastball up and in.
It feels like at this point you should get a trophy every time you get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out.
I agree, Gary. Great hustle by Leo Rivas, because with a big swing like that, outfielder has to freeze a little bit, and Robles, there was no way he was going to get to it, and Leo was able to out there in shallow right field. Nice play by Leo.
Kirk batting. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He went chasing a slider out of the zone. But there have not been many 1, 2, 3 innings against the Blue Jays in recent games. And Kirby has a chance for one right here. Mariners leading 2-1. Julio homer at the top of this inning. Kirk back in the box. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. 98 miles per hour. He got Kirk to strike out in the 1st inning. He's in the driver's seat. No balls, 2 strikes. Kirby, the flutter of the glove, into the motion, the pitch. That's way wide. Tried to get some chase on another slider. Kirk declines. He's hard to strike out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, smoked right to J.P. Crawford, goes to a knee, and he puts it away on the fly. A line out to end the 3rd inning. A 1, 2, 3 inning for George Kirby. We head to the 4th. Let's
Have done a nice job not chasing too far out of the zone against Bieber. Here comes the pitch to Gino. Takes inside. Ball one. Bieber not an overpowering fastball, 92, 93, but he can spin it, and he can really locate as well. Both the slider and the curve, the pitch. Inside again. And Gino gets ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Third start of the postseason for Bieber, his second against the Mariners. He fires. Swing and a miss. Chasing a curveball just beneath the knees. 2 balls and a strike to Suarez. He singled earlier. Here comes the 2-1. Cut on and missed. Bieber right back in the count, 2-2. After a couple of fastballs to open up the back-to-back breaking balls from Bieber. Varland now officially throwing inside the Blue Jays bullpen. Bieber approaching 60 pitches. He's also 3 batters away from the top of the order. 2-2. Swing and a miss. He chases a slider off the plate. Haven't seen a whole lot of that tonight by Mariners hitters, but Gino gets fooled on that one. That's the 4th strikeout by Bieber, and the last 3 have come on the slider. Leadoff man sat down. Here is J.P. Crawford. First time so far tonight that Bieber has retired the leadoff man. The pitch. It's outside. A fastball to 93 misses. Ball 1. Mariners 2, Blue Jays 1. Top of the 4th, 1 out, bases empty. On a 1-0. That is a strike. Middle away. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Mariners shortstop. Nobody on, 1 out. Bieber nods. Deals. Well, that could have been a strike. That was a fastball at the knees, and instead of going to 1 and 2, Crawford catches a break. It's 2 balls and a strike. Well, could have gone either way. Next pitch to Crawford. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball down, 2 and 2. Now, the Mariners' bottom of the order has not had a whole lot of production in this series. Stark contrast to what the Blue Jays' bottom has done. They have been fantastic by and large. The 2-2. Swinging, he fouls it back. Breaking ball that was over the plate. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes still. JP 2 for 18 in the series. A sack bunt his last time up. He calls time and steps out. Mariners would love to have somebody on for the top of the order. It might not be Bieber facing the top of the order. Very well could be Varland. That's how it's looking right now if it gets that far. Crawford, the number 7 hitter at the plate. He's ready for this 2-2. It's low. Good take by JP. We've seen a lot of 3-ball counts from Bieber. Next pitch will be the 65th from the former Cy Young Award winner. Rivas on deck. 1 out, base is empty. The pitch. Swinging a shot down the left field line. It is towards the corner. It's a fair ball. Crawford rounds first, holds onto his helmet, and he throttles down with a stand-up double. J.P. Crawford doubles into the corner in left field. The table is set with 1 out of the 4th inning. Good piece of hitting by J.P. And that was A fastball middle way, and JP just went with it. Here is Rivas. JP in scoring position. Mariners by a run, trying to add on to the fourth. Bieber fires. That misses outside for ball one.
Feels like they could chase Bieber right here.
Well, if this gets to the top, you have to figure there's no way Bieber's facing Julio for a third time after Julio's doubled and homered off of him. I agree. Bieber look at second. The 1-0. A strike. Count a lot of the plate. Taken 1 ball and 1 strike. Rivas struck out on a slider his last time up. Robles on deck, then it would be Julio. Trying to find a way to chase Bieber in the fourth. The 1-1. Cut on and missed. But to do that, Rivas or Robles will have to reach, you'd have to figure. Bieber put him away with a slider his last at bat. He now has 2 strikes on Rivas here. He's thrown him 2 changeups and a curve. Has not thrown him a heater yet. Crawford at second, 1 away. Top of the fourth. Bieber's 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. It was the slider again. 2 down. 5th strikeout for Bieber. Here comes Victor Robles. He grounded back to the pitcher in the second inning. Mariners 2, Blue Jays 1. Mariners try not to waste the J.P. Crawford 1-out double. He's in scoring position for Victor Robles. The pitch to Robles. He swings and misses. Well-located slider, perfectly placed down and away. It's 0-1. Mariners have put pressure on Bieber all night long. The right-hander deals. Good take outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Julio looming on deck for Shane Bieber. Louis Varland warming. Feel like this would be the last batter one way or the other for Bieber. 1-1. Low and outside. Good take on another slider. Does not chase. 2 balls and a strike to Robles. Getting the start tonight. Batting 9th in right field. Canzone beginning the game on the bench. Robles deep in the box from the right side. Crawford at second base, ready to run. Mariners trying to add on to their lead. The set. Here's a spin and a throw to second base. JP not far off the bag. He gets in there standing. Mariners 2 runs on 7 hits. The Blue Jays 1 run on 3 hits. Huge run out there at second base right now with 2 outs in the fourth. Bieber sets the 2-1. It is called a ball. Borderline pitch, very bottom of the strike zone. It's another 3-ball count from Bieber. What a take by Robles. 3-1. Julio on deck. Crawford at second. Mariners by a run in the 4th inning. The set and the pitch. It's high for ball 4. Robles drives a 2-out walk. The lineup card turns over, and here comes Julio. And here comes John Schneider. Mariners are able to chase Bieber in the 4th inning. Now the Mariners will have Julio facing Louis Varland with 2 outs and 2 on in the 4th. Schneider climbs the mound, and he takes the ball. Bieber is done after 3 2/3. He exits on the downside of this one so far, responsible for Crawford at second and Robles at first. We've got a pitching change. Pivotal point here coming up. Top of the 4th inning. 2 outs and 2 on. Julio about to hit. Mariners leading 2-1.
Great.
leading 2-1. First and second for the M's with 2 outs. The pitch to Julio. He swings and misses a 90-mile-an-hour curveball down and away for strike 1.
They certainly have had a good look at him. This is the 6th game he's pitched in this series.
All but 1. Did not pitch in game 3. He sets. The 0-1 to Julio. Down and away. Takes another breaking ball. Same pitch, same location. This time Julio holds back. Julio has doubled and homered. Crawford at second. Robles, good speed at first. Marlin sets at the chest. Now deals. Swinging a ground ball, roll over third base. Clement Breadbasket has it. Sets, fires over to first base in time for the out. Julio grounds out 5-3. The Mariners strand 2, and Varland gets the Blue Jays out of a jam. To the bottom of the 4th. Mariners do have the lead, however.
Let's see if you can figure out the following.
Varsho inside the box. Kirby into the motion, the pitch. And that's a strike. 0-1 on Varsho. Varsho 20 home runs in the regular season. RBI single to tie it up in the first inning. Here comes the 0-1. That misses just a touch inside, up and in at 96. Not quite the 98 we saw in the first couple of innings, but still good velocity from Kirby. He winds, fires. Swing and a miss. 96 on the top rail. Kirby tonight making his third career start in an elimination game. He went 7 scoreless in Game 3 of the divisional series against the Astros back in 22. And then went 5 innings in Game 5 of the divisional series this year against the Tigers. Allowed just 1 run. Kirby on a 1-2. That is a little bit high. There's a 98, but it misses. Good take by Varsho. Seems like he's trying to go upstairs a little more often to the lefty batters like Varsho. More two-seamers into the righties. On a 2-2 pitch. Swinging a grounder foul over by first base. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners leading after a leadoff double by Julio to begin the ball game, driven in by Naylor's single 2 batters later, and then Julio's leadoff home run in the third. 2-1 Mariners. Just beginning the bottom of the 4th inning. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He tied him up. 97-mile-an-hour gas that time from Kirby. Up and into Varsho. Sit down. There is out number 1.
George has done a great job of establishing his fastball the entire game, and I'm going to throw it inside. I'm going to tie you up with my heat, 98-97. So 3 strikeouts for George, throwing a great fastball tonight.
Pitch to Clement. That is in the dirt and gets to the backstop, ball 1. Well, we saw it from the very first pitch of the ball game when he threw 98 up and into Springer. Mariners 2, Blue Jays 1. Bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-0. It's outside. Well, you've got Barger on deck. He homered last night. He's homered twice in this series. Spire is warming. Looks like he's ready to go if somebody reaches here, and that somebody would be Clement. Kirby behind. The 2-0. That's a strike at 97. One of the hardest things that must be for a manager in a game like this is when to pivot away from your starter if he is pitching well and the game is as close as it is right now. Mariners by a run. The 2-1. That is very close to a strike. 98 just outside, 3-1. That is a rare 3-ball count tonight from George. Clement having a good series. Contact hitter. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and it's popped up. Rivas in short right field. The Mariners' second baseman with that bright red glove on his left hand reaches up and he makes the catch, and a dangerous hitter is retired. Now there is out number 2.
Kirby now, you look up, he's retired 6 in a row. That's just not something you've been able to say about Mariners starters in this series. This has been a nice stretch for George.
Miller was so good in Game 1, that 6-inning performance, but the last 5 games, 18 earned, 17 and a third innings pitched by the rotation. Pitch to Barger. That is a strike at the very top rail at 98, up and in for strike 1. And more high fastballs to lefties from Kirby. That's been a pretty clear game plan. Kirby delivers. Barger takes 98 inside. That's a good take, 1 ball and 1 strike. Barger, naturally a right-handed hitter, became a lefty because of Ichiro. Thanks a lot, Ichiro. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Back foot slider, 1 ball and 2 strikes. When Barger was a kid for about 8 years, he was a switch hitter after learning to bat left-handed because of Ichiro, and then finally gave up his natural side. So he has fully converted to the left-handed batter's box. Kirby in the driver's seat here. 2 outs, the 1-2. And it's inside at 98.
How many guys have done that?
I mean, I've never heard
the only one.
I've never heard of somebody else doing anything quite like that.
Why abandon the other side when you got a chance to bat from both sides of the plate?
Mariners by a run. 2 outs, nobody aboard. Bottom of the 4th inning for the Blue Jays. Kirby's 2-2. Swinging a line drive. It's past Rivas at second base on 1 quick skip, and it finds right field. Barger, a 2-out single. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times now against Kirby. It's the first time he's found a base hit out of it. That was 109 off the bat. Here comes the righty batting Kiner Falefa. You have the lefty Jimenez on deck. Number 9 man. Spire up in the bullpen. Got to take care of Kiner Falefa here. Right out of right. Kirby's pitch. Swinging a line drive up the middle on the ground now. It's fielded there by Rivas, who takes it, steps on second base. They get the force on Barger, and that retires the side. George Kirby, 1 run over 4.
Let's see if we can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is apo taco. Do you know what it means?
active the rest of the way.
Cal batting lefty against the righty Varland. Here comes the pitch. He swings and misses. Changeup at 94. Man, Varland, everything is just power. Fastball nearly triple digits. 94-mile-an-hour changeup. Varland, stocky righty, into the motion, the 0-1. Swinging a fly ball, driven deep, right field. Cal Raleigh, he has homered in Game 7. He has stung the Blue Jays yet again. A leadoff home run by Cal Raleigh to begin the 5th inning, and a silent hush over nearly 50,000 inside Rogers Center. It's a 3-1 Mariners lead.
He loves hitting here at Rogers Center. That's about home run number 15 against the Blue Jays, and at least number 10 or 11 at Rogers Center. He's got one of the best slugging percentages of anybody in this ballpark.
A 2-run lead for the Mariners. The pitch to Naylor. Swing, and he shoots this deep out towards right center field. Varsho cuts across, and he makes the catch in the gap in right center. Naylor is down number 1.
Well, in a Game 7 situation, you want your stars to be stars. Cal has homered. Julio has homered and doubled. The stars at the top of the order being stars.
You know, it feels like it's been the Mariners pitching so many times in this series, leaving pitches over the plate that the Blue Jays have capitalized on, and tonight it's been the other way around. That was a changeup middle to Cal. 2-run lead for the Mariners, 1 out. Here is Polanco. Here comes the pitch. Swinging, he fouls it at the plate, strike 1. And we mentioned it when Varland came in. He's pitched 4 the last 5 days. 22 pitches his last time, 27 the time before that.
Pretty sure Champ, the Mariners bullpen catcher, it's his birthday, by the way, caught the home run from Cal Raleigh.
You think so?
Happy birthday.
0-1 is down and in. That could have been a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, so far his birthday is shaping up to be a lot better than yours the other day, Garrett.
That's fine. That's fine by me.
You'll enjoy it with him.
If the Mariners hit him a couple more home runs tonight, that'd be fine by me, too.
3-1 Mariners. The next pitch. Swinging a low skipper. Gobbled up there by Vlad Guerrero at first base. It came right to him. Not an easy one to handle. A hot shot. But it's out number 2 as he runs to the bag himself. 3 unassisted. That brings up Randy. 3-1 Mariners. 2 outs. Top of the 5th. Base is empty. Varland's pitch. Randy checks the swing. Does he go? Yes, he does. 0-1.
Lou is still throwing in the Mariners bullpen.
Well, he knew he'd be part of the game plan tonight. 0-1. Swing and a miss. A pretty awkward-looking, poorly timed swing by Randy on a pitch up. 0-2 now. Will we see Wu in the bottom of the 5th? The 0-2. Swinging, he fouls it away over by third base. 98 on the top rail. Due up is 9-1-2. And if anybody reaches, Vlad Jr. would bat. The next pitch. Swinging, it's popped up. Just outside of the infield. Connor Falefa waving everybody off. The Blue Jays second baseman in short right center makes the catch to retire the side. But Cal goes deep. Julio and Cal Raleigh have both homered tonight in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. And the Mariners now lead it by 2 to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the Mariners. out because of that pec injury. Jimenez, the lefty, the 1-0. And that's a fastball that just barely misses. Cal Raleigh kind of paused his arm on the way back to throw out to the mound, kind of waiting to hear a strike called, but he doesn't. So two very close pitches. Both were balls. Wu trying to fire a strike, the 2-0 pitch. Inside. 3 straight heaters have missed. Springer on deck, then Lucas. If anybody reaches, it's Vlad Jr. 1 run over 4 innings for Kirby. Mariners leading 3-1. Wu into the motion, deals. There's a strike. 96 well over the plate. 3-1. Jimenez taking the whole way. Julio has homered. Cal has homered. Julio has also doubled. Mariners leading by 2, beginning the bottom of the 5th inning. The next pitch. Inside, nothing but fastballs. Not a surprise. Jimenez walks on 5 pitches. Tying run comes to the plate with power in Springer. Springer has walked and grounded out. Now this stage tonight, nothing new for George Springer. His 5th career Game 7. Three home runs this postseason have come on the first pitch to Springer. Here it comes. He swings and fouls it away off the right side for strike 1. And it was a fastball that caught a lot of the plate to Springer. Springer having a very good series. A lot of damage. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 97 running away from him. 0-2. Springer 2 homers, 3 doubles against the Mariners in this best of 7 ALCS. Jimenez leads at first, held by Naylor. Mariners leading, bottom of the 5th inning. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He waves at a sweeper off the plate. First wrinkle we've seen so far from Brian Wu, and a timely strikeout to a dangerous hitter. 1 away. There comes the lefty Lucas. Now, Lucas was a good hitter during the regular season. He has been an exceptional hitter in the postseason, batting .350 practically in this series. The pitch. He swings and fouls it back. 97 inside. Strike 1. Very hard to strike out. He does hit a lot of ground balls, however. A chance for a double play if he does that here. Jimenez, the runner at first base. 1 out, 1 on. 3-1 Mariners in the bottom of the 5th. Wu's pitch. This is high, 97. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're broadcasting from the Western Washington Toyota radio booth. Game 7, Mariners and the Blue Jays. Somebody's season will come to an end tonight. And somebody will go on to face the Dodgers. On a 1-1. Swinging a ground ball, taken there by Crawford. He steps on second, jump throw under first, the stretch by Naylor, and it's all in time for the double play. Brian Wu gets 2, and he spins a scoreless 5th. The Mariners maintain the lead, and they take it in hand of the 6th inning. It's 3-1 Mariners in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series, leading the Blue Jays.
Let's
Dominguez set. Here's the pitch. And he sends it upstairs. A sweeper that misses. Mariners a 3-1 lead, but they are looking for more. Here's the pitch. Swung on, lofted, left center field. Lucas over, he's in the gap, he makes the catch. And there's one away. Winner will play the Dodgers as we take a look at the Chevy Colorado scoreboard.
That was a great scoreboard,
Well,
Gary.
what am I supposed to do?
Just give the score.
I'm doing the best I can here. We're out of games. Here's J.P. Crawford, the pitch. Swung on, a rocket to second base, off the glove of Kiner-Falefa. Scoops up, fires to first in time. He's got the out. There's 2 away. That was smoked. 109 off the bat by J.P., who doubled last time. But quickly, there's 2 away. That brings up Rivas.
Dodgers would have to come here if the Blue Jays won the pennant, and the Mariners would have to go there to Dodger Stadium, that is, if the Mariners won.
The pitch to Rivas. Strike. 98 burns the bottom of the zone. Mariners leading 3-1, 6th inning. Dominguez bent at the waist, now straightens up. Here comes this pitch. That's inside. No one warming in the Mariners pen. Wu worked around a leadoff walk in the 5th inning, faced the minimum. A huge double play. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will lead things off in the bottom of this inning. Here's the 1-1. Inside did he go? He checked his swing, so Rivas battling here. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Lefty and a righty inside the Blue Jays bullpen. Braden Fisher, the righty, and Mason Flaherty is warming up as well.
Well, you know they have the Julio Cal circled. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, broken bat, little pop-up, foul territory. Clement over and foul ground, 1-hand catch. And that's it for the Mariners. They go 1-2-3 in the 6th. We head to the bottom of the inning. 3-1 Mariners on the Global Credit Union Mariners.
Great
Well, 4 innings of 1-run ball. He did his job. Wu, a scoreless inning so far. Wu, a big deep breath into the motion. Here's the pitch to Vlad. That's down low. 97 on the fastball. This is an all-star matchup right here. Guerrero, who's been a wrecking ball in the postseason. Wu, the best pitcher for the Mariners this year. His pitch. He finds the corner. Perfect spot, 97. So he evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wu, into the motion. Here comes his pitch. Swung on and missed. A thing of beauty. Wicked movement. Bearing in on Vlad. He swings through. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was nasty.
That two-seamer was an alien life form.
1 ball, 2 strikes. What will Wu do here? Into the motion. The 1-2 to Guerrero. Off the plate. Try to sweeper. He's gotten some chase on that. Guerrero doesn't swing, so 2 balls, 2 strikes. Guerrero, 6 homers in the postseason. Wu. The 2-2. Swung on, chopped foul. That was 97. Went upstairs this time on the 2-seam.
And he's doing a great job of staying out of the middle of the plate. Everything in or away.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Wu against Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The 2-2 from Wu. Swung on and just gets a piece. That was 97 at the very bottom of the zone. That's a great pitch. Vlad spoils. He is very hard to strike out.
He has the highest contact rate of any hitter this postseason.
Well, he has struck out twice in the playoffs.
While hitting those 6 home runs. Amazing.
Wu nods his head up and down. Deep breath. Into the motion. The 2-2 to Vlad. Swung on. Fouled away. This is a great battle. 98 from Wu on that offering. Still 2-2. What a Game 7 battle right here. 2 of the best in baseball. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on, chopped away, foul, 97. He's just peppering the outer zone with fastballs. And Guerrero staying alive.
Actually pretty impressive that Vlad's been able to fight off so many of these pitches.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Wu winds. He delivers. Swung on and missed. Got him. A vicious sweeper. Vlad swings through, and Wu gets a huge punch out in the 6th inning. A tremendous Game 7 battle between 2 of the best in baseball, and Wu wins the battle.
9 pitch at bat in between. He threw 1 breaking ball in. Now that breaking ball down and away, and a huge swing and a miss by Vladimir Guerrero. What a job by Brian Wu.
Kirk batting now. Wu deals. A half cut, and it is a ball. Very close, borderline. Kirk is 0 for 2. Wu delivers. Swung on, slashed foul, first base side above the netting. 3-1 Mariners, bottom of the 6th.
Just pounding these right-handed hitters with fastballs in, 96-98. He's had such great command of that pitch.
Wu working on 2 days rest, 22 pitches so far in this one. Wu pitched 28 in his first postseason appearance, 28 pitches. Kind of a mystery how long he could go in this one, but he's looked very good so far. Into the wide, the 1-1. Misses. Try to sweeper. No chase. 2 balls, 1 strike. Wu from the first base side of the rubber. Nods his head. Ready. Deals. Swung on. Line drive center field. Julio racing in. He's not going to get there. It's a base hit. Kirk fights it off for a single, and the Blue Jays will bring the tying run to the dish in Dalton Varsho.
Well, Kirk had seen so many of those fastballs running in on him. That's a good piece of hitting. And it was 97 on the inner black, but what helped out Kirk, it was middle of the plate, so middle in, and that enabled him to get some pretty good wood on it. And here comes Pete Woodworth out for a chat.
Dave Spire is back up in the bullpen.
By the way, Kevin Gausman warming up inside the Blue Jays bullpen.
How about that? Gausman. They just threw a couple days ago. He's on 2 days rest as well. The difference, while Wu threw 28 pitches, Gausman threw 91.
Both managers trying to do everything they can to try to win this game. That was a good play by Julio to not come in and try to make a dive. If that ball gets on by, it's a whole bunch of trouble. But right now, you got the double play in order with Varsho up there. If you can get him to hit a ground ball to Leo at second.
They got a big double play in the fifth inning. 3-1 Mariners, bottom of the sixth. Varsho batting. Kirk, small lead at first. Here's the pitch. He has him dancing away from a fastball inside. He's fallen behind. 1 ball, no strikes. Crowd booing, although it may sound like woo. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, line drive, right field. Couple steps back. Robles is there in front of the track. Makes the catch at the chest. Kirk retreats back to first base. A big second out here in the sixth inning. He tagged it pretty well, but Robles was on it to make the play. And here's Clement. 2 outs. Clement the tying run. Wu trying to hang a 0 for the second straight inning. He deals. He sends it just a touchdown low. That was 98 on the fastball. He's pumping in a firm heater. 3-1 Mariners, bottom of the sixth. Tying run at the dish. Will ready. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, chopped right to shortstop. JP has it, underhand toss to second. Rivas right there to record the out. And that is it for the Blue Jays in the sixth inning. Brian Wu, the All-Star, 2 scoreless innings, and the Mariners take the lead to the seventh. It's 3-1 on the Global Credit Union.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast.
So a couple of solo home runs. That's been the difference here in Game 7 so far. So Gausman going to work for the Blue Jays. He deals. That's inside at the shoe tops. Robles dances out of the way. And always in a situation like this, you just wonder what Gausman will have. An excellent season this year. He has pitched out of relief in the playoffs in his career. He deals. Swung on, slapped back to the netting. That's out of play. Gausman, 5 2/3 in Seattle, just 1 run. Pitched well. The 1-1. Outside, Robles watches all the way in. It'd be pretty great for the Mariners if Robles could reach, considering the kind of nights Julio and Cal have had. Corners even with the bags. Here's the pitch. That's down the middle for a strike. 95 on the fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 7th inning, Mariners up 3-1. Julio on deck. Gausman ready, his pitch. Swung on, that is blasted but foul. Robles really turned on it into the second deck. Out of play. Dan Wilson said Robles in the lineup tonight for his energy, his ability to make something happen, looking to make something happen here. The 2-2. Swung on, fouled back. Stays alive. That's the vicious split. Mariners a 2-run lead, looking for more. Here's the 2-2. A half cut, did he go around? He did not. Robles checks his swing on a splitter. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. See what Gausman comes back with. Three balls, 2 strikes. He deals. Down low, ball 4. Robles draws a leadoff walk here in the 7th, and here comes Julio. That's a big plate appearance there by Victor Robles.
Yeah, great at-bat there by Victor. The Mariners have done just such a nice job laying off the low pitch in this game tonight.
Well, here's Julio. All he has done is doubled and scored and homered. The unease in the crowd here in Toronto. The pitch. Strike. Gets ahead on a 4-seam.
The home run was so impressive because he took a wicked foul ball off the inside of his left leg, right below his knee, hung in there and hit the home run.
Gausman from the belt. His pitch. Swung on, hit right to shortstop. Jimenez to second for 1. Relay to first. It is in time. Double play. So a 2 away here in the 7th. That brings up Cal. And they're not going to pitch to Cal Raleigh. With 2 outs and the bases empty, an intentional walk to Cal, they have seen enough. He homered last time.
How about that? Nobody on. And they intentionally walk Cal. And they got now the righty-lefty matchup. Here's Josh Naylor to see what he can do against Gausman, the right-hander.
Passed it up in the Blue Jays bullpen.
We'll see if Josh Naylor can make him pay. Had an RBI base hit in the first. Got the Mariners scoring going. Here's the pitch. Inside. Mariners led 1-0. Blue Jays tied it in the first inning. It was 1-1. And then a Julio 3rd-inning homer, a Cal 5th-inning homer. And that's where we stand. It's 3-1 in the 7th. Naylor's had a great series. Here's the pitch. Low. It's a good fastball. 96, but misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Naylor, 3 homers in the series. The 2-2. That misses away, meant 2-0. So 3 balls, no strikes. Count in Naylor's favor. Cal at first base.
He's green lighted from here to Mississauga, wherever that is here in Toronto.
The 3-0 to Naylor. Watches an outside ball four. He flips the bat away, and the Mariners back in business now. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And here's Jorge Polanco. Pete Walker, pitching coach. A quick run out to the mound to talk to Gausman. They're number 1 on the mound. Polanco has had so many big hits in this postseason. The Mariners would not be here without Jorge Polanco. Seemingly every hit has been massive in this postseason for Polanco.
Well, he had in the opening game of this series the 2 singles to give the Mariners, to tie the game and give the Mariners a lead in that 3-1 win here at Rogers Center. Of course, the walk-off single in the bottom of the 15th inning at home to beat the Detroit Tigers to put the Mariners in this series. So he's been right there with some huge hits.
Mariners a 2-run lead. They want more. 3-1 Mariners. Cal at second. Naylor at first. Gausman ready. Here's the pitch to Polanco. Low. Splitter below the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Gausman staring at Cal at second. His pitch. He sends it over. That was a splitter that was below the zone. That's a tough break. Polanco had one of those when these guys met in Seattle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That was below the zone and not called a strike. Same exact spot. 2 balls, 1 strike now in Polanco. Just the batting gloves, back into the box. Taps the plate 1 time. Runners take their leads. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Another split. That one stayed in the zone. Crowd rises here.
It's been nothing but splitters.
Polanco calls time. Will he go splitter again for the 5th pitch in a row? The 2-2. Swung on, softly hit to the right side. Kiner Falefa has it. Lob toss to first base in time. That's the out, and the Mariners put away in the 7th. Well, we head to the bottom of the inning.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since
one's in. Have to get through the 7th, though. Mariners up 2. Wu steps into the pitch. Here it is. And it's inside. Barger singled last time. Jimenez, who's batting 3rd in the order, that was the first hitter that Wu faced. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, popped up, out of play. Behind home plate. Wu, a couple of strikeouts. He's been as high as 98 on his fastball. 30 pitches from Wu. Working on 2 days rest. Into the motion. He deals. Upstairs. That fastball at 96. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kiner Falefa on deck. Wu into the motion. Here's the pitch. This is just a bit low. He's fallen way behind now. 3-1. He did work around a leadoff walk in the 5th inning thanks to a double play. He'd rather not walk Barger right here. Here comes the 3-1. Inside, ball 4. Lost him. So the Blue Jays, a leadoff walk. And here comes Kiner Falefa. He's the tying run at the dish. Barger is lead at first base. Mariners leading 3-1, 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Shows bunt and takes it for a strike. A 4-seamer over the corner. Interesting. Kiner Falefa 0 for 2 in the game. Wu from the stretch. He delivers. Swung on, chopped foul. That was a weak, late swing that he just got a piece of. No balls, 2 strikes. So Wu in the driver's seat. He'd take a punch out right here. No balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, hot shot up the middle. It squirts through, base hit. Barger on second. He's going to hold. Julio gets the ball in quickly. And now the Blue Jays really threatening. Runners at first and second with nobody down. An 0-2 pitch by Kiner Falefa. And he sneaks it through. Here's Jimenez. Now you wonder, the Mariners look like they may be expecting a bunt. Here comes Pete Woodworth. Tying runs aboard, 7th inning.
It would make all the sense in the world. You got the light hitting Jimenez. I say that. He's homered twice in this series, to everyone's surprise, even the Blue Jays. And then after him, the top of the order, Springer due up next. Now, this is lined up well so far for the Blue Jays. Barger the walk, Kiner Falefa now the single. And they are definitely threatening here with the tying run aboard at first base.
Spires back up. Bizzardo ready as well for the Mariners. Mariners expecting a bunt. Naylor in on the grass. Same with Gino. 3-1 Mariners, 7th inning. No outs, 2 on. Wu. Set. Here's the pitch. Shows bunt. Takes the bat back, and it's inside. It's a ball. Jimenez, an infield hit and a walk. Tough spot for the Mariners right here with Springer on deck. Corners crashing. Here's the pitch. It's a bunt right back to Wu. Scoops it up, his only play at first. Throws it there to get the out. Runners advance. So runners at second and third now for the top of the order. George Springer will bat. And here comes Dan Wilson. Mariners going to the bullpen here. Runners at second and third. Mariners leading by 2. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. New pitcher coming on. Huge spot when we come back right after this.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes.
Right now, runners at second and third. 1 out. Springer batting. Bizzardo comes set. Comes his first pitch. Inside. Back Springer off the plate. 2-seam. 1 ball, no strikes. Springer has walked and scored. He's grounded to third, and he's fanned. Here comes the pitch from Bizzardo. Swung on. That is hit high, deep left field, and it is gone. George Springer, 3-run home run. Blue Jays lead 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th.
'96, almost right over the heart of the plate. Just didn't execute it. Worst possible spot. There have been multiple things thrown on the field out of the warning track in center field and left center, and they're taking a moment to pick them up. Now, you might normally think about Brash in a situation like this, but Brash has just simply not thrown strikes recently. He's had a hard time with his command. Bizzardo has thrown the ball so well, with the exception of one postseason appearance. And he just put it on a platter for one of the best home run hitters in postseason history.
Mariners have led for most of the ball game, and that's been wiped away with one swing. Here's Lucas. Here's the pitch. Swung on, skied left field. That's tailing into the seats. Out of play. Four, 3 Toronto. Here comes the pitch. That's upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mariners just have 2 more cracks at this. Right now down by 1. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled away. It's important for Brizardo to make sure that no more come across. Keep this a 1-run game. The 1-2. Swung on. That is smoked into right field, a hit. That brings up Vlad.
Hanging slider.
Well, this is a tough spot right here. Guerrero batting. Runner at first, 3 in. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, that is ripped into left field. Right over Rosarena, leaps in the air, makes the catch. Lucas back to first base.
That was scary. That ball was hit so hard, kept going a little bit higher, and Randy came over and had to leap at the end of his run there to make sure he was able to come down with it. It was a tee shot by Guerrero, but fortunately the second out of the inning.
Here's Kirk. Mariners now trailing 4-3 after the Springer 3-run home run. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Comes up empty on a slider. Brizardo ready. Deals. That's a strike. Right on the edge at 97. Bassett is still up in the pen for the Blue Jays. We'll see what direction they go. The Rosarena, Gino, JP due up next inning. The pitch. Misses away. Four, 3 Toronto. Bottom of the 7th. Set from the stretch. Here comes his pitch. It's no good off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 from Brizardo. Strike 3 called. Zipped it in on the corner. And that's the final out in the 7th, but a lot of damage done. 3 across in the 7th. The Mariners now chasing 1. We head to the 8th. It's 4-3 Blue Jays on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
Series. The windup and the pitch on the way to Randy. Swinging a two-hopper to short. Right there is Jimenez. The throw to first in time and a quick first out for the Blue Jays here in the top of the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Eugenio Suarez. But as you know, we have seen it in this series against Detroit in the division series. One swing of the bat can change a ball game. But we just saw it in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Gino with those 2 big home runs a couple of games ago to win Game 5. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way to Gino. A strike called, and the count is 0-1. Suarez tonight is 1 for 3. Had a base hit back in the second. The Mariners had 2 on with nobody out. Could not score in the second. Here's the next pitch of Gino. Breaking ball is up and in for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Julio got things going for the Mariners at the start of the game with a leadoff double. Scored on a base hit by Naylor. Julio homered in the 3rd. Cal homered in the 5th for the Mariners. 3 runs tonight. Looking for more. Here's the windup and the 1-1 on the way to Gino. It's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. To the displeasure of 50,000 fans here at Rogers Center, which has been the home for the Blue Jays since 1989. When it first opened up, they started at Old Exhibition Stadium in 1977. The windup and the 2-1 pitch to Gino. Swing and a miss. Tried to hold up, but he went after it. And the count is even on Suarez at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deep at third base and near the line is Clement. Deep at short is Jimenez. The set by Bassett and the 2-2 pitch way up high for ball 3. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Everybody available in both bullpens for this Game 7. We saw Brian Wu come out of the bullpen and go 2 1/3 innings. Now the stretch by Bassett and the 3-2 on the way, swinging a ground ball foul. On the third base side as Chris Negron skips over the top of it, and the count is still 3-2 on Gino. Gino during the postseason with 3 home runs, 2 home runs in this series against the Blue Jays. Bassett with the new baseball. Inspects it. And now plants that right foot in front of the rubber. 1 out and nobody on top of the 8th inning. Mariners down by a run, 4-3. The stretch, and again the 3-2 on the way to Gino, and it's strike 3 call on the inside corner, and Gino is hopping mad. He's jumping up in the air, and he can't believe the call by home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott. Strike 3. The Mariners have 2 down here in the top half of the 8th inning. It's a breaking ball that Gino thought was inside and off the plate, but came back over the corner according to Wolcott. And there's 2 down, and that'll bring up J.P. Crawford. Trying to get on board. Here's the pitch to him, and it's high and outside for ball 1. That's a front door breaking ball to Gino. Crawford is 1 for 2 with a double down the left field line. The stretch and the pitch from Bassett. Swinging a ground ball to short, and up with the ball is Jimenez. The throw to first, and it's in time to get J.P., and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Rogers Center. Our Mechanics Bank score.
Let's see if we can figure out the following.
He is 1 for 3 on the night. He had an RBI single way back in the first inning. And Springer led off the inning with a walk, and then with 2 outs scored on that base hit by Varsho into center field. Close to third base, Gino. Here's the pitch on the way, swinging a line drive into right field for a base hit. Varsho greets Munoz into the ballgame with a rocket single into right field on Andres' first offering in relief, and the Blue Jays have a man on right away, and that'll bring up Ernie Clement. And the Blue Jays swinging the bats in all 7 games of this American League Championship Series. Here's Clement. A tough out, but he's 0 for 3 tonight. Munoz from the stretch delivers, bunt attempt, and he fouls it away off the catcher, Cal Raleigh, and the count is 0-1. Coming in close, charging in at third base, Suarez. Clement, a right-handed hitter, steps back in. So it looks like he's trying to lay down a sacrifice, trying to get Varsho down to second base. Let's see if he tries it again. The stretch by Munoz, turns the bunt, and he takes this one outside, but did he make the attempt? He did not. And the count is even on Clement at 1 ball and 1 strike. Barger is due up next. Clement batting .447 in this postseason for the Blue Jays. Now the stretch, he's not bunting. He's going to take, though, a fastball for a strike, and the count is now 1-2. Fastball at 99 miles an hour. He showed bunt, pulled the bat back. Now he's definitely going to be swinging away. And Gino moves back over at third base. Naylor playing at the bag, trying to keep Varsho close. Munoz looking for a strikeout or a double play. The pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball right side and through for a base hit. Varsho down to second, makes the turn. Up with the ball is Robles. The throw to third, not in time. Ernie Clement bounces one through the right side of the infield. And now the Blue Jays have runners on at first and third with nobody out. So fastball that's up and away, and Clement hits it hard the other way through the right side. So now Munoz needs to do some fancy pitching right here. That'll bring up Addison Barger. You know he's going to try to get one in the air to the outfield, and now the Mariners infield has to come in close for a play at the plate. Everybody up close, the stretch and the pitch. On the way to Barger. It's down low for ball 1. Barger started the 3-run rally in the bottom of the 7th inning with a walk. And he, along with Kiner Falefa, was singled. Scored in front of Springer's home run. Here's the stretch. Munoz ready, fires away, and it's a strike called on Barger, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Shortstop J.P. Crawford still playing up the middle at the cut of the grass. Barger, a left-handed hitter. Next offer on the way, and it's high and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. And you talk about a swing of emotions, inning to inning and game to game and series to series. The look in by Munoz. Next offer on the way, swinging a line shot, caught by Naylor at first. He'll step on the bag to double up Ernie Clement. What a play by Josh Naylor. Barger hit a frozen rope right to Josh. He turns it into a 3 unassisted double play. 2 of the biggest outs of the year behind Andres Munoz. Runner at third with 2 down. Holy smokes, what a play.
106 off the bat from Barger. Anywhere else, that's bringing home a run. Man.
And now here's Isaiah Kiner Falefa for the pitch to him as a strike on the outside corner. The count 0-1, and that quiets the crowd of 50,000 plus here at Rogers Center. 1 on, 2 outs. Munoz ready. The stretch and the 0-1 to Kiner Falefa. Swing and a foul out of play on the first base side. Late on a fastball at 99. And the count is now 0-2. Mariners have had to climb many mountains along the way, and another one in this one. Right now down by 1, but they have 3 more outs to work with when they come up in the top half of the 9th inning. Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. The stretch, the 0-2, and it's low and outside for ball 1. 1-2. on Kiner Falefa. He has lined out and grounded out to Rivas at second and had that big base hit in the seventh. Now the set by Munoz, and the right-handers 1-2 pitch, swinging a shot foul on the left field side, way out of play as Kiner Falefa really turned on it. And the count is still a ball and 2 strikes. It has come down to this. No game 8. This is it. Winner of this one will go to the World Series to face the Dodgers. Here's the set by Munoz, and again the 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball up the middle. Right there, Rivas. He's got it near the bag. The throw to first in time to get Kiner Falefa. That's going to retire the side. And the Blue Jays cannot add on, and we're going to go to the top of the 9th inning. Mariners need a run to tie and 2 to take a lead. We go to the 9th.
Great moment.
Surface of Rogers Center. They are looking for a big comeback. They've got 3 outs to work with. And Leo Rivas will lead things off, trying to get on board any way he can. Way off the line at third is Clement. Defensive change. Lucas now in right. Straw in left field. Varsho still out there in center. Hoffman ready. The pitch on the way to Leo. Tries to bunt, lays it down, but foul on the third base side. Trying to bunt his way aboard here in the top half of the 9th inning. And it's got to be perfect, because it's tough to bunt on the turf. You got Clement already playing in. And now he moves off the bag at third base at the cut of the grass on the third base side. Leo 0 for 3 on the night. Hoffman plants that back foot. He's ready. The stretch and the 0-1 to Leo. It's low for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. It has been an incredible season, and the Mariners want to keep moving forward, looking for a comeback here in the 9th. Down by a run, 4-3. The stretch and the next offer on the way. Strike on the inside corner. And the count is 1-2 on Leo. Center fielder Varsho a little bit toward right center field. Leo potted one off the fence in right field in last night's game for a long single. And now he's just trying to get on board any way he can to get the tying run aboard and the go-ahead run to the plate. Victor Robles is not on deck. Here's the stretch. And the 1-2 on the way to Leo. It is ball 2. With a splitter from Hoffman, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a mighty good take right there by Rivas. Dom Canzone has moved into the on-deck circle. Hoffman ready, fires away, and it's inside for ball 3. 3-2 the count on Leo. So Hoffman now behind in the count. Infield is back on the right side. Way up the line at third base, Clement. The look in by Hoffman. Here we go, the stretch. And the 3-2 on the way to Rivas. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Went after a high fastball, and the Mariners have 1 down here in the top half of the 9th inning. And the Mariners do not want to go home. Man, it has been one heck of a battle, one heck of a roller coaster ride for this franchise after the good start in April. They bounced back late in the season. They want to keep it going. They want to date with destiny against the Dodgers. They have 2 more outs. And here's Canzone, the pitch on the way to Dom, and it's outside for ball 1. Just one mistake, one fastball out over the plate, and Dom can tie it up with one swing of the bat. Canzone, 11 home runs during the regular season. Tying run at the plate, 4-3 Jays. Pitch on the way, swing and a pop-up. Behind home plate, Kirk coming back off of the mask, might have a play, and no, this is in the front row of seats right behind home plate. And the count is even on Canzone at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hoffman gets a new baseball from home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott. Mariners have the early lead, 3-1. Julio Rodriguez with a huge night with a double and a run scored in the first, a home run in the third. Cal a home run to right field in the 5th. But Springer, the big hit, a 3-run home run, giving the Blue Jays the lead. The stretch. The pitch to Canzone way outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Dom can quiet this sellout crowd with a big swing right here. But right now the Mariners will take a blue base hit. Julio Rodriguez due up next. Pitch on the way to Canzone and a swing and a miss. And the count is even on Canzone at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Everybody on their feet here at Rogers Center. A lot of anxious fans back home in the Pacific Northwest. Mariners looking for a come-from-behind win with 1 out and nobody on here in the top half of the 9th inning. Game 7 of the LCS. The stretch and the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Canzone strikes out, and now the Mariners are down to their final out of the 2025 season. And it's up to Julio Rodriguez. Julio with a huge night tonight. Leadoff double in the first and scored on a base hit by Josh Naylor. A home run way out to left field back in the 3rd. So the Mariners have the right guy up there to keep their season hopes alive. The Mariners are down to their final out. This team has battled to get to this point all season long. Julio looking to extend the season. The set by Hoffman. Here's the pitch on the way to Julio, and it's way up high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Cal Raleigh is due up next. So you got the grade 1-2 punch. And Julio trying to get Cal up there. Outfield straight away. The look in by Hoffman. And now the 1-0 pitch to Julio. It's inside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And Julio right here is going to try to jump out of his shoes to get a 2-0 fastball, maybe from Hoffman. 32 home runs on the season. 3 home runs, now make it 4 in the postseason. The pitch on the way to Julio. Swing and a miss. Got a slider, and the count is now 2-1. Julio steps back in, taps home plate a couple of times. Hoffman looks in, gets the sign from Kirk. 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th inning. The pitch on the way to Julio. Swing and a foul straight back. And now the Mariners are down to their final strike. The count is even on Julio at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Julio trying to extend the season. trying to get on board, looking for a mistake from Hoffman. Hoffman ready from the belt, and the right-hander's 2-2 on the way to Julio. Here she comes, and it's low and outside for ball 3. Full count, 3-2. Is there some magic left in that beautiful bat of Julio Rodriguez? One mythical swing right here, hoping to tie up this game, and you got Cal due up. Mariners have relied on magic all season long. Do they have any left? Here's the stretch. And the 3-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The ball game is over, and the Toronto Blue Jays are going to the World Series to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Blue Jays win it tonight. A come from behind 4-3 win over the Mariners to win Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. And the Blue Jays celebrate on the diamond before 50,000 fans here at Rogers Center. What a season for the Mariners here in 2025. They had a lot of magic throughout the year, a lot of heroes throughout the year, a lot of great wins. But the season comes to a screeching halt here in Toronto in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. The Mariners were looking for a date with destiny against the Dodgers, but they were denied by the Blue Jays here in Toronto. The Mariners had the early lead in the series, 2-0, but the Blue Jays come back to win 4 of the next 5 games, and the Blue Jays are going back to the Fall Classic for the first time since 1993 when they won that year against the Philadelphia Phillies. They won back-to-back years in 92 and 93 for the Mariners. Their hopes and dreams trying to get to the World Series for the very first time in their history since 1977, and they came oh so close. And this ball club left it all on the field. This team managed by Dan Wilson, his first full year in the big leagues as a manager, along with that coaching staff. These guys put together a thrilling, exciting, remarkable year in 2025. But the curtain comes down on the amazing season, the best year in the history of this franchise. The curtain comes down on this year here in Toronto as the Blue Jays win Game 7, a final of 4-3, and the Blue Jays on to the World Series against the Dodgers. We'll be back with more from Rogers Center in Toronto after these messages.
A bicentennial